Hi friends, I hope you are doing well. I hope you're having a nice Sunday so far. I have a fun video for you today. I am redrawing one of my old ancient drawings. This is one of my first digital art pieces from back in 2017, and yes, I had a chibi face. This was part of a series of designs I made and posted on DeviantArt back when it was a cool website, and I attempted to sell them as quote-unquote adoptables. Are adoptables still a thing today? So I am going to grab this old design and see how it turns out if I were to draw it today. Plus, we'll be talking about art style in the meantime and see if is it actually useful to redraw your old art. But first, a small word from today's sponsor. Today's video was kindly sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community full of fantastic artists and people who share their knowledge in the form of full curated online courses. On Skillshare, you can find creative classes taught by amazing world-class creatives, illustrators, graphic designers, and also successful entrepreneurs that will help you build creativity and new knowledge into your life. You can find an endless variety of classes for all your needs and curiosities, including art, illustration, animation, photography, productivity, and more. For example, since I recently have been trying a lot of crochet models that I wish to recreate, I am following different crochet classes to try new techniques. This one here is by Emily Baldak, called the Granny Squares Crochet Masterclass, and it's honestly crazy to realize how much I didn't know, and it has been super fun learning a new craft and bring my drawings to life. If you wish to join and try Skillshare, you can use my link in the description or scan this QR code. The first 500 people will receive 1 month free trial of Skillshare. Time to practice your creativity. Thank you so much, Skillshare. Okay, we're back. So, retrying your old designs is one of the most fun things you can do as an artist, I believe. At least it is for me. It is one of the best training sessions you can have for yourself and allows you to see your progress, not only in terms of skills, but also in terms of art style. I love to see all my big changes and even micro changes I made in the way I draw. Many of you ask me how I live the concept of art style, how important it is for me, and if you need a specific art style today. I do believe that it all depends on your goals with art. I am mostly a character designer, and for those new to this world, let me explain it. In simple terms, I like to draw and create new characters and give them a life, pretty much. I think that for me personally, developing a specific art style really helped me understand my own art, and this is something that depends on your personality too. I like the comfort of my art style because I can only focus on the character design. Plus, it is very useful for casual commissions and more complex work projects because clients who hire me already know what to expect. But I know many other artist friends that feel quite the opposite. One single art style makes them feel kinda claustrophobic, and they feel the urge to constantly try new things and techniques. That is something I do with coloring mostly. I like to try different mediums more than spacing between different art styles, and although I work digitally mostly, I also enjoy traditional art too, and I rediscovered it recently because I really got into watercolors and mixed media. One thing I love is sketching traditionally, a clean, polished sketch preferably. Give it a light wash of watercolor, sometimes in black and white just to give shading and tones, and then I scan it and finish the piece digitally. I love the results so much, I can confidently say this is my favorite way of making art right now. I had to stop with this technique a little bit because my scanner isn't working properly, and although I could take a picture of the artwork, the quality just isn't the same. You need a proper high DPI scanner to work on the piece later, or otherwise the file would be just too small. But once I fix this problem, you'll definitely see more coloring process of that kind. That being said, yes, many artists want to keep on trying new styles, but I have to admit that I get much more questions about finding single distinctive art styles, and for many of you that is the first concern. If you want my honest opinion, it shouldn't be. If you are a beginner at drawing, I suggest you to focus on learning the basics first, so anatomy, a little bit of color theory, etc. Only when you got all your basics mastered, you can then have the capacity to stylize eyes, and that would be automatic. See, over the years I have experimented with many things, and sometimes I wasn't aware of what I was doing, and unconsciously I was actually learning basic concepts like proportions, for example, without even realizing. One of the misconceptions I often hear is that art style is something that you learn. I often get asked, how do I learn this art style? How do I learn your art style? And see, you are asking the wrong question. The approach should be, what should I do to develop my own art style? And that is the beginning. You should do what feels right to you because the canvas is yours, and art is art, right? Yes, you can listen to teachers and even artists online telling you do this to get better, but from my experience I can tell you that one single method cannot apply to everybody in the world. Otherwise we would all be the same, right? Yes, learning the basics is a great way to start. It is a good suggestion and it will genuinely help, otherwise I wouldn't tell you. But how you move on from there is up to you and your vision of the world. For example, I am deeply inspired by books and music in my art. You could be inspired by movies and comics. You could be inspired by roasted potatoes. Who am I to judge? And I feel like that will change your approach. See, we are incredibly influenced by the world around us without even noticing until we do. In a previous video, I touched on this topic a little bit, and I mentioned how important it is to be aware of the media we consume every day, and especially for digital artists, in my opinion, it is even more important to find balance. Otherwise, we end up spending our lives in front of the screen. Finding what I like to call quote-unquote analog hobbies is essential, and as I mentioned during the little sponsor segment before, lately I'm doing a lot of crochet. My studio is full of yarn. The fun thing about it is that I come up with a design, I draw it, and then I attempt to recreate it. See the circle? I am fitting art with other art, and the two worlds, both digital and physical crafts, meet. This also makes you improve subconsciously. So, in conclusion, do not obsess over style and forget what actually is important, which is creating and putting on paper or on screen all the amazing ideas that you see in your mind. Improvement and style go hand in hand and are natural consequences of your practice and perseverance in whatever it is your craft. And redrawing your old art, in a sense, allows you to put everything in perspective. Now, do not get me wrong, I do not hate these old chibis I am redrawing. I actually look at them and see a foundation of what my art is today. I almost look at them with a sense of pride and compassion. Your art goes through phases, and I had to get through all of those phases to reach today's point. I look at them and I remember where I was during those days. I actually can tell you the exact moment when I made each drawing, so they also have kind of a sentimental attachment. I remember the people to who I used to show my first drawings, maybe people that aren't in my life anymore, and their feedback helped me grow a lot, and I only wish I could show them my art today, which isn't possible, unfortunately. So the nostalgic component is real, and I'm sure many of you can relate. You can be critical of your old art because to an extent you have to be self-aware, and self-critics, it's important. Don't be too harsh though. But you also need to recognize the value of each piece you created, because each piece is a step forward to the point you aspire to reach, and you will slowly realize that the entire concept of style is gradual, and you will get to a stage where you are satisfied with your art and your style, but the improvement itself will never actually stop. It's not just your hand that will be trained, just like the physical art of drawing. Your vision will be trained too. Just look at one of your old drawings now and tell me, do you see what you saw when you drew that? Or your eyes will spot 1000 mistakes or things that you dislike today. That's when you know practice has actually paid off. Before I go, question: do you actually like my old little chibis? Be nice, or little Holly will cry. No, just kidding, but I had people tell me they look cute, and I am like, I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed my yapping today. I wish I could film the entire rendering process, but I had one of the busiest weeks of my life and I only managed to film this sketch. I promise you'll see it finished though. Follow me on IG to stay up to date because I am very active there, so you won't miss my stories and art posts. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next week. Bye!